like we ain't gon' slide. 16, 11 and we still outside. Cut from a cloth that you still can't buy. All my IEM, they gon' slide, 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 slide. They tryna act like we ain't gon' slide. 16, 11 and we still outside. Cut from a cloth that you still can't buy. All my IEM, they gon' slide, 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 yeah, slide, slide, slide. It's no mercy.
Ironic, because like growing up, a lot of what I did is I read like the Bible. Family's Catholic, right?
So are you Catholic right now?
Do I want to identify as Catholic? Yeah, I don't know.
But do you still believe in the Bible?
It's hard for me to say so as well.
What do you think made you? What's your background?
Ecuadorian.
Okay. What made you start to like deny the Bible?
It's more, I guess, just like trying to reason through everything, right? I try to keep like everything.
Like give me an example. Give me one that like you're like, okay, I can't really reason with this. I don't know if this is true.
I wouldn't say reason. It's like I still like derive lessons and stuff like.
But you don't. But I understand. Anybody can learn a lesson from anything. I can learn a lesson from these cars passing by. But what I mean is, do you subscribe to the Bible as the Word of God?
I wouldn't say so. Right?
Okay, yes. But at one point you did, right?
Wouldn't say that either.
Oh, so you've never really.
Yeah, I went through the rituals,
okay.
the rites, and all that stuff, but I never found myself like, feet on the ground. Like this is my belief.
Why do you think you kind of have a life of, your family's Catholics? What made you never really cross the line into, okay, this is the Bible's the Word of God? Maybe not Catholicism or another denomination, but what made you not accept the Bible? What is it? Curious.
I wouldn't say like as the Word of God. It was just more like me being like, okay, how do I personally look at this objectively? It's really just
objectively.
Like, yeah, I just look at everything objectively, and like I didn't treat the Bible objectively.
Why wouldn't the Bible be objective?
Why would it be objective?
Why wouldn't it be?
For me, it's just like hardcore proof, right? It's like
there's no proof of the Bible.
I haven't,
You haven't seen
it myself, right?
Okay.
I haven't,
what if I gave you some?
You can try, yeah.
Okay.
I'm the patience for it. Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, let's start with a simple one. The accuracy of the scriptures, right? When we dive into the scholarly world of the text, right? There's like let's use the New Testament for example. I can't remember the exact number, but I know it's over 5,000. Right? There's over 5,000 New Testament manuscripts, and they've been found in different locations, in the Middle East, right? And they all agree about like 96 or 98% in accuracy. They all say the same thing, and the little bit of differences that the text show is like variance. Like for example, there's multiple ways to say love in Greek, right? There's multiple words for he in Greek and Hebrew, right? Or the word world, right? So sometimes one manuscript may say a different word for the he that's there, or the word love.
Yeah,
those are right. Exactly. So that's the difference. Is there's no theological contradictions within the text. So it's kind of interesting that all these manuscripts have been spread all over, thousands and thousands of copies, and they all still say the same, right? Don't you think that's an intriguing fact?
Yeah, I do.
Now, what about the archaeological evidence? Like, did you know that they found the city of King David? So sorry, I can't use I have all the sources saved in my notes. My phone's not over there recording, but if you can even Google it, ancient city of King David found, right? It doesn't have to be now, right? When you go home, ancient city of King David found by archaeologists, secular, they're not religious, and they found they found the remains of the ancient city of David. They found sculptures and writings and artifacts and stuff like that. They also found where Sodom and Gomorrah is. You know Sodom and Gomorrah?
Yeah.
Where the city was practicing a lot of sin and the Most High rained down fire and brimstone. They actually found the location, and it's a desolate wasteland, and they even tested the atmosphere, right? Scientists test the atmosphere, and there's radiation and high amounts of carbon or radiation in the atmosphere where you can't live there. It's toxic, right? And the Bible said God said nobody would ever live there ever again.
Yeah.
And they found it. Nobody's
Like a type of Chernobyl.
exactly perfect. Chernobyl. So look at that. The Word of God thousands of years ago said that would happen, and then only now do we, discover it. And they found it. So what do you think about those little? And again, you can check those when you get home if I'm lying, but I've read these myself. What do you think about that little bit of information? And there's so much more.
For me, again, it's just like my mind immediately goes like, how can I explain that, right? It's just like,
How can you? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean by
for
that?
example, like, let's say that because a high amount of radiation can come from a meteor, still God, right? It's a meteor, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is like, who's to say that wasn't written after that happened, right?
Who's to say it wasn't written after that?
Just after it, right?
Well, I think that's a good question. But the thing is, that would insinuate that. Would you say if that's true, which that's plausible, but then would you agree most prophecies in the Bible would have to be like that?
Most prophecies in the Bible.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay. Here now, let me give you an even better one then. That's a fair question. King Cyrus, right? He was. Do you know what time he came into the scene of existence in history?
Can't tell you for sure.
So, Google on your phone. Just Google real quick. What year was Cyrus born? King Cyrus of the Bible. I think it's like 550 BC or something like that, right? I'm just gonna show you some facts, right? I don't want to misquote anything.
No worries, boss.
Around 600.
Sorry, so 600 BC, right? Now type in, when did the prophet Isaiah give his prophecies?
If you don't mind me asking,
Yeah.
Prophet Isaiah, how would he have predicted?
Isaiah.
Yeah, what would the prophecy involve?
Cyrus? Oh, I'm going to show you right now.
Thanks, boss.
No problem. And we're going to get the verse. I'll pull it up for you quick while you get that.
The prophet gave during mid to late 8th century.
What's the year BC on that?
Mid to late
740 BCE. So now if you know a little bit about history, they go backwards. So 740 is older than right. So here, read Isaiah chapter 45 and read verse 1. Excellent. Isaiah 45. So here we've established when Cyrus came about and then when Isaiah wrote his prophecies, right? Look what Isaiah says. Watch this.
So it says Isaiah chapter 45 verse 1. Thus saith the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus.
To who?
To Cyrus.
To Cyrus, right?
Whose right hand I have holden, to subdue nations before him.
Yep.
And I will loose the loins of kings, to open before him the two leaved gates, and the gates shall not be shut.
Right, that's good on that. So the main objective or the main mission of Cyrus, that historians agree, he helped let the Israelites go back home and rebuild their city and their temple, right? Now, how does Isaiah, if this is just, good, maybe a good guess, a good prediction, or even it was a historical event, and then later they prophesied about it because they already knew about it, like you said, Sodom and Gomorrah, maybe this happened first, and then how is it possible that Isaiah mentions the man by name and what he is going to do long before he was born?
You would stop me there.
Can you think of a good counter argument? There's, in the world of scholarship, there has been zero. They have to resort. They have to resort to. It's a fake book, but no scholar agrees with that. No, everyone knows that there's right. So what can we say? But it's divinely inspired by God. So something to consider. Like, imagine me saying in 200 years from now, there's going to be a man named Brian. He's going to buy this piece of land here, and he's going to build 2 condos, and the stores underneath is going to be a KFC and a McDonald's.
Yeah.
And then 200 years later, is that a prediction or is it prophecy? And then, so look, brother, there is so many more like that. I'm just giving you a few. I can't go over all of them. There's so many more like that where they say something's going to happen, and then it happens. Like, for example, Isaiah and Jeremiah and Ezekiel talk about the Babylonian kingdom. Before Babylon invaded Israel, They said it would happen, and even Moses said it. Moses is way before that time. Before there was a king of Babylon, all this stuff. He said, God is going to provoke you people to jealousy with a people that is no people. And it was in reference to the king of Babylon way later coming and judging the nation of Israel. It's just, there's so many. And then don't get me started on the prophecies about Christ, right? All the Old Testament prophets prophesied about Christ, a man coming and dying for the nation's sins, right? He'd die and rise again. It's like there's so many. So something for you to consider, like this can't just be a normal book. There isn't other religious texts that do this.
Yeah, I can't also like perform myself and say, hey, I gotta discredit all of this. Like,
Yeah.
There's real historical figures behind it.
Right.
Real men and real women.
Right. So, what do you think about that? Like, would you take the time to go home and look into it?
100%.
Okay. You said you're Ecuadorian, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, another thing too, right? When we look at, you believe in God though?
I want to say yeah. Like I believe there's a
creator.
universal force, right?
A creator.
I would say so.
You don't believe in a man in the clouds with a beard and like we don't believe that.
No, there's so many ways to interpret it.
Right.
I could say he's all around me in the form of like the particles. And,
yeah, but you do believe in a non-physical, a non-material creator before the Big Bang.
I would say I can't say I believe even in the Big Bang.
You don't believe in the Big Bang?
I can't prove any of these things, or I haven't read into it, so okay. I can't 100% affirm my belief on that.
Well, the Big Bang is a pretty well-accepted theory,
right? Yeah, it's the most accepted theory.
And no scientist or philosopher today believes that the Earth and the universe is eternal. It had a beginning, and if
my ignorance, but I can also just explain my ignorance and say, hey, I don't know enough, and I can't tell you.
Well, yeah, look into it, right? Look into it. I would, and also there's even deeper things like the fact that I don't know. Did you mention to him about his people, who they are in the Bible?
Nah. So like, is your are you familiar with any sort of? You said Ecuador, right? Like, both your parents?
Both my parents.
Right. So, did they ever mention to you about like who they were like before the Spanish like colonized them, like the Incas and stuff?
They barely know. Like they don't have much education.
They don't know, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you do go back to like the native people through your father's lineage of the Incas or right, then yeah, you'd be an Israelite. That's what we teach. Who the South Americans are, like the Incas, right?
Right. So since you're familiar with the Bible, you know about the Israelites in the Bible, right?
Yes.
Right. So, yeah. So, where would you say the Israelites are today? If you had to guess.
Honestly, I based it off the last time I talked to you guys as well.
Oh, we spoke to you before.
Scattered,
Okay.
all over, except for like the Sinnoh regions, the Romans,
yeah,
like the hardcore those guys.
Right. So so we talked to you before.
I love to learn.
When did we ever talk to you before?
Maybe like a year ago.
Oh, a year ago. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're basically saying the same thing. Like, we're the Israelites. Our people, we've been scattered, right? And prophecy, as we've already showed you, states that in the scriptures, like who the Israelites are, where they would be in the last days, and what they have to do to get back home, right? We've been scattered because of our sin, and
right.
Sin is transgression of the laws of God. So we're just trying to wake our people up, let them know, hey, we have a duty to keep these laws and statutes of the Most High, so we can be healed and go back to where we come from. That's the whole point of Christ coming and dying for the sins of the nation, so we could be saved and go back. But our people, we'd rather live in sin, and I think you're more sincere in trying to seek things. I don't think you're just trying to say, I don't care about that, But I would say, because if it's been about a year since we last spoke to you, try to seek a little harder. Because if you're wrong, let's say if you're wrong about I'm not sure if the Bible's true.
Yeah.
If you're wrong, then the consequences.
What that was called, but the consequences are more severe.
Right. And if nothing's true and there's no truth to the Bible, no creator,
then it is what it is, right?
It is what it is. And I think you'll find when you study it, Christ said, seek, you'll find, knock, and the door will be open. I think you'll find that when you really, really seek hard and you see, okay, this is true, I better start believing it. you know, you'll find it's a better explanation to things and how the world works than nothing. Everything just means nothing.
Yeah,
Or you know, there's no
I can't accept that either.
atheism,
you know?
right, right.
For purpose.
Perfect, exactly.
I guess I found you guys at a good time. Definitely gonna take a look.
Yeah, brother.
You know, just like,
And it's in your spirit. It's naturally in your spirit to look for a purpose. It's your God-given spark to know, like, I mean something. Like, animals don't have that. Animals just have natural instinct to survive, but they don't have a intrinsic value of who they are and a dignity. You know what I'm saying? But humans do, because what does the Bible say? God made man in the image of Himself, and that's where we get it from, right? So.
all right. It's a,
I
honestly,
appreciate you, brother.
talking to you guys.
Yeah, man.
Thank you
Hey, if you ever want to ask questions or reach out, take a picture of the YouTubes and the Instagrams and hit us up on the DMs. All right, brother. I'll praise it.
Thank you.
Okay, take care, brother.
Take it easy, all right?